Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we are continuing in the French line of battleships, and I might myself not be very far yet, but we'll definitely have a look at the higher tiers as well. But today we'll look at the Lyon, the tier 7 French battleship. Now, the Lyons were never built. I mean, the Normandies weren't really completely built. But she was planned definitely as a successor to the Normandy class, and this is a World War I model, or this was a World War I design. So what did the French do here? Well, they figured the Normandy had lots of guns, so put more on the Lyon. And we end up having 4 quadruple turrets of 340mm main guns. These are, unfortunately, the exact same guns that we have on the Bretagne. On tier 5, only now we're tier 7. But yeah, the Lyons were never built, and in World War II, well, they had different ships at that point. But the French generally had mostly considered the problem of the Italians in the Mediterranean. So they were never really after extremely long range or extremely high caliber. So these 340mm were considered to be sufficient for the job of shooting at Italians in the Mediterranean. And the French quite liked these guns. And actually the ones supposedly to be on the Lyon were firing slightly different shells. But in the game, I don't think there's much of a difference. They look pretty much similar to the Normandy guns, only that we've got more of them. The turret layout is interesting. So we have 4 turrets, but only one forward turret, followed by the superstructure. And well, the B turret here, effectively, if we zoom in a little bit, the B turret here effectively sits behind the superstructure. So you have to actually give a bit of an angle in order to get the forward 2 turrets to bear. In return, the B turret can actually swing behind the superstructure here. This looks a little bit like the Oktyabrskaya in the gun layout. And then you've got the 2 rear turrets, which are super firing, but they have to, well, swing all the way around. Now, in-game, what do we have? We have a French battleship. Well, I'm struggling to call this a battleship. The hit point pool is criminally low for a tier 7 battleship with only 38,000 hit points. The armor is abysmal, and I mean, we can have a quick look at something Japanese. What do we have in Japanese in tier 7? Nagato. Nagato has 43,000 hit points and better armor than this thing. Look at this. It's dreadful. So, yeah. A very squishy ship, that is. The maneuverability isn't completely terrible. She is quite quick. So, without the engine boost, I think she does about 28 knots. And the maneuverability is okay-ish. The guns, yeah, you've got 16 of them, which at first glance is amazing because you've got an enormous amount of firepower. You've got like a potential alpha damage for a full salvo of almost 20,000 points of damage. But the problem is, first, these are 340mm. So they tend not to hit very hard unless you get lucky and you manage to get, either you manage to get very close to things or you manage to hit weak spots. But yeah, oftentimes you can have 4 or 5 games without really doing a huge amount of damage in these things. The reload is on the slow side with 22 seconds. The range isn't great with just under 12 kilometers. The dispersion is absolutely abysmal. So at any range, maybe you get 4 or 5 shots on target out of 16. So, ugh. Which makes for a really interesting combination because this ship needs to be close to hit anything reliably, and at the same time absolutely certainly doesn't want to be close to anything that's shooting back at it because it is a very low hit point squishy ship. We do get a decent set of secondaries. These are 130mm secondaries with a good range, and but again the dispersion is is laughably bad on these as well. So while you have a lot of them, you can often fire at destroyers at point blank range and only get 1 or 2 hits in out of a full secondary broadside. The AAA is decent actually, but you can do a little bit of AA assistance, but then again, you don't have the health to tank anything, and the concealment is dreadful with 11 kilometers. So her main guns barely outrange her concealment. So you'll be spotted, you'll be shot at, you're very vulnerable. You don't. The only thing you've got really going for yourself is that this thing is quick. So you'll end up with a lot of battles zooming around the battlefield, not getting all that much done. And then sometimes battles happen where the stars just align. But yeah. In terms of elite bonus, I would thoroughly recommend the battleship modernization, because the additional 3% hit points is sorely needed. And equipment-wise, I have a battlecruiser setup. You do want the main battery mod 1 for turret traverse, because otherwise your turrets are going to trail. Even with it, on a full turn, your turrets can't keep up. But without it, your turrets are going to trail even worse. I do have the propulsion mod because the speed is really the only thing that this ship has going for her. And that can maybe get you out of a sticky situation if you're lucky. And you want steering in the third, which gets you down to like, I think, a 10 second turn from full steer from one side to the other. So supplies wise, no surprise here. Standard battleship setup. And my commander has been on the French line since the beginning. He's not very far yet. I have set him up with fire supremacy, because while the Lyon doesn't get the rapid reload quite yet, I think the Gascogne at tier 8 I think gets. Let's have a very quick look just to make sure. The Gascogne gets the rapid reload, and then for some reason the Alsace doesn't. And then the Republique gets it again. So you definitely want to be looking ahead, because you only have 2 consumables on the rapid reload on the Republique and the Gascogne. So you do want probably the fire supremacy skill for another set, and you probably also want down the road the master reloader. But none of that matters in the Lyon, because the Lyon only gets the engine accelerator. But it's an engine accelerator too, and you get 3 charges of it. Still doesn't make a huge difference, but can come in handy occasionally, and it allows you to relocate across the battlefield reasonably quickly, because she does just over 30 knots in tier 7. Well, there are other things that do over 30 knots in tier 7 that I'd rather play than this thing, but... So, is this a good ship? No, not really. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, she has one upside, which is the speed, and that she has, if she can actually get all her guns on target, actually really, really decent damage output. She has many downsides that counter that, which is if you're getting yourself separated, you get focused down. You can't tank fires. You can't defend yourself against aircraft effectively. You can't defend yourself against battleships effectively. Hell, you can't even defend yourself against cruisers effectively in this thing, because you can't hit them. Because aiming at anything beyond 5 kilometers basically means that it's all just going to splash around it, because the dispersion is so bad. And you don't unfortunately get the dispersion module in tier 7 here, so you can't do anything about it. Well, but we have to get through it, because I have been told by many people that the ships coming after this are actually pretty good. And I'm kind of looking forward to the Gascogne with the rapid reload. So let's get into a battle. I'll show you what it's all about. We have our first battle on Golden Channel, and it's a pretty much flat-out tier 7 battle, only we've got a bunch of tier 6s on our side. But Gneisenau, Ise, King George, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Mayhem, and Jervis. So obviously the destroyers we do need to keep a little bit of an eye on. But yeah, Golden Channel means we can't really zoom around a lot, because, well, it's Golden Channel. You effectively want to be in the center of it. So in center cup maps or epicenter maps, the Lyon is really not great, I find, because you are playing in a confined space. And you can't really use her speed, like the capability that she has to, you know, change a flank and help out at a side that needs firepower assistance. You can't really use that here because you're going to go ahead. But again, she is pretty quick, so 28 knots by on standard. And well, I'm just asking the team to maybe get into the cap circle. But yeah, with the engine boost up, she does 30.8 knots, so I can actually rush into the cap circle rather quickly. Now, Golden Channel, I want to be next to that edge there. I want to use that island as cover. But where is that Farragut going? Oh dear. It's one of those games, isn't it? Oh well, anyway, we can give some fighters some AA support. There's the Gneiser now, so let's get our forward turret out. Yeah, bow in, you only get one turret to fire, which isn't great because even with that you can, yeah, you get one shot on target. So 25% hit rate with these guns is kind of what you can expect at range. And I'm talking about 9 kilometers here, which isn't long, but I mean the thing doesn't have a very long range to begin with. So yeah. Okay, Jervis has passed by. Atlanta is over there. So I'm gonna get some shots out at the Atlanta. And I want to reverse out because there are probably torpedoes coming this way, because this corner is a torpedo magnet. But yeah, you've seen 16 guns is great, but yeah, you get maybe 4 hits on target if you're fighting at 9 kilometer or more. So a couple more shots out at the Gneisenau over there. Oh, one bounce. These guns really don't shine at long range, but at close range they can actually be very, very fun. Bunch of semi-pens. I'll probably be actually better firing high explosive, but the high explosive damage is quite meh on this ship as well with the 340s. Okay, some more torps, but they don't have range. These are probably Mayan torps. Oh, look at that. Bracketed the Gneisenau and bounced one off. Okay, there we go. A little bit of damage. But yeah, it's pretty abysmal. So at this range is really, she's really not happy at this range, and you do need to angle in quite a little bit in order to get all your gun turrets on target, and you don't have the health really to do very much. Can we kill the Gneisenau? Let's see if we can get a couple more shots. Atlanta, the angles aren't great, but then again, the dispersion's all over the place anyway. So yeah, two hits on target. Okay, there's a destroyer over there, so there are probably torpedoes coming this way. So I'm not gonna turn. I'm just gonna. Probably, yeah, there was the Jervis over there. There come the torps, and yeah, that's why I'm not turning. Okay, can we finish off the Gneisenau maybe? Again, 9 to 10 kilometer range. Yep, nope, Jervis, not happening. Okay, finally, we've got the Gneisenau killed. And there's a King George sailing around the outside. And it looks like most of my team actually made their way into the capture circle, which is amazing. Maybe my call at the beginning has helped. Okay, Atlanta, 9 kilometers. Maybe we get a lucky shot here. But we've lost our Pensacola. Yeah, that was a good hit. That was a good hit. In any other ship, I probably would have deleted the Atlanta, but okay. The carrier drops the ocean, which is fine. But that Jervis is still around. We'll see if we can kill the Atlanta. But is he taking a run at me? It might be. So let's get ready to switch over to the high explosive. I just want to unload the 16 guns into the Jervis before I do that. And yeah, we're mostly over pens, which is expected with this caliber of shell at this range. But yeah, again, that was it that we've done. So we're not doing a huge amount of damage so far. And again, this is not how the Lyon works. She is not a ship that you can sit back in and shoot at things. You need to be mobile. The problem is I can't really, because there's destroyers everywhere. But at this range, I might actually switch back to the armor piercing, because see if we hit anything. No hits on the Jervis. Okay, we're losing the capture circle because the rest of my team has vacated, and there's now Jervis and Brooklyn in here, and Jervis has smoked up. So I'm gonna start running now, because I get some shots off at the Brooklyn. And then we switch back to the high explosive because there's Jervis going to be. Now let's see, hopefully I can dodge those torps, because he probably hasn't expected me to accelerate with the speed boost. And there we go. Yep. Okay. Can someone kill that Brooklyn? I'm going to go after the Jervis. That's where the speed boost can be really, really useful. Okay, I get one shot out at the Brooklyn. Okay, he's dead. And then we got the rest of the Jervis. That's where the speed boost comes in useful. If you know that the destroyer is aiming torpedoes at you, you can be a little bit faster than they actually thought you were. But yeah, again, the Jervis is at 8 kilometers, so there's no chance in hell that I'm gonna hit him. But we'll just keep. I mean, there's not much left of the enemy team, so we'll just keep firing. And I guess the one thing we've done this battle so far, I mean, we haven't tanked very much. We haven't even used the repair kit. We've dodged torpedoes, I guess, and held the cup circle. And that's probably all the good we've done so far in this battle. And you'll find that most battles in the Lyon are going to be like this. Because again, she's pretty useless at long range, as you've seen. And she's going to be very tricky to get into short range. Because she doesn't have any armor, and she doesn't have any health. So, yeah. And she doesn't really have like a huge DPS either. It's not like a Gneisenau where you suddenly get into torpedo range of stuff. But that said, while we're kind of shooting at the key over there, at the ESO over there. That said, you can, if the stars align and you get yourself, look at that, 4 out of 16. No, what am I saying? 1/4. If the stars align, sometimes you get battles where this works. Generally, anything that is not static, where you can move around and pop up in places where you're not expected. That's kind of where she works better. So really more of a battle cruiser play, I would say. And if you can exploit that, make sure you're not getting focused. And if you can get at close range, and you can actually get all these 16 guns at close range to bear, they hit pretty hard at close range. They can't penetrate anything at long range, but at close range they can actually work pretty well. So the Farragut takes out the ESA. Okay, there's that. The angles are dreadful, so you're really just relying on speed and maneuverability to get to the point where you want to be, which isn't great because, well, it means that she works maybe 1 out of 10 games. But sometimes you get games where she does. Let me show you one of those. So here we are on Friar's Lantern. And we are in the bottom tier game, but just barely. I think there's 1 tier 8 on each team, so it's really not much. And I like Friar's Lantern because there's a lot of island cover on this thing. And this is a map that works very well for quick ships, I have found. But yeah, let's go. And we have a carrier. We have a Saipan. The enemy team has a Graf Zeppelin, so we win. Because the Graf Zeppelin is going to lose all his planes. I mean, you could play cruiser, I guess, and just use the guns, but yeah. Leberecht, Mars, and Kagero, we've got to watch out. Everything else, and you see what I mean, right? There's a lot of really convenient island cover. So spawning on this side is ideal. The northern side wouldn't have been as good for the Lyon, but this side is ideal because I can sail past that island right ahead of me. I've got a Sims with me, so I can provide some air cover, and the Lyon is fast enough to actually keep up with destroyers. So you can do these kind of things. Just very slowly get the guns aligned. But yeah, I've got this island which gives me hard cover against any shots coming in from the enemy team pretty much, unless somebody really comes around the long way. So I can get into C Cup from here. So full speed ahead, engine boost up, and yeah. Let's see if there's 1 destroyer in B Cup and 1 cruiser in B Cup. Okay, good. So if the cruiser comes and 1 battleship. Okay, so we've got 2 DDs and myself against DD, cruiser, and battleship. But we do have some carrier support, so that's good. And the carrier is probably taking out the Graf Zeppelin's planes pretty quickly. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, if you can loop around here, you are reasonably safe. But unfortunately, if you're in a slow ship, you're also reasonably outside the battle. Okay, what is that? Brooklyn? Yeah, I mean, 9 kilometer, you already know what's coming, right? Anyway, shots out, because he's probably the biggest danger to our destroyers. And we have 1 hit out of 16. But the Leberecht Mars has just run into all the Saipan torps. So that's 1 destroyer down, and it looks like the Brooklyn is disengaging. Unfortunately, I can't get shots off because he's slowed down. Otherwise I would have had a nice broadside, but there's a Colorado over here, and yeah, if I had turned the other way, it would have been reasonably difficult to actually get. First of all, I would have been shot at by the Colorado, and second of all, it would have been reasonably difficult to get the guns to turn. But yeah, look at this Colorado, for example, right? I mean, he should know that he's being shot at, but his guns are pointing in the wrong direction. because he's not actually expecting someone to come around this side of the thing. So for slow ships, this is dreadful. But for fast ships like this one, who can actually make the way across before half the battle is over, this is actually a good play and a good position. So Colorado, very weak deck armor, and we'll lobbing some shells around. We actually do some damage to him. So, which means we just lost 2 ships, didn't we? But yeah, everything takes each other out there. Well, that's fine. So we can take B Cup, and no one's shooting at us, which is ideal in this ship. So you want to get yourself in position where no one is shooting at you. And you see, even at 6 kilometer, you can't hit you can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside of it. It's absolutely dreadful. But now we're chasing this Colorado, and I've got a Sims with me. So, I mean, even though the Sims does, I don't know where he's going, but well, we're chasing a Colorado. And, oh, there's the Graf Zeppelin. Okay, so I can actually turn on the left side of the island and take the Graf out and give air cover to the destroyers. Because, you know, if a carrier sees destroyers rushing you, you probably... what are you trying to torpedo? There's an island in the way. I mean, there's me in the way on the other side, but there's also an island in the way. These torpedoes were never going to hit anything. All right, let's shoot at the carrier, because we're holding 2 of the capture circles. We're even on kills, but from that massacre just now. But yeah, come on, Sims. I'm a battleship. I can't turn. Okay, at least you're not getting yourself torpedoed. Well done. And yeah, I'm shooting down the occasional aircraft, and we can chase down the Graf Zeppelin. But again, because we can't actually use our gun forward very much, I'm just going to keep shooting at the Colorado from there, who seems to have run into an island. And at this range, the Colorado probably can't hit me either. Oh, he's firing high explosive at me. Bless his soul. And there we go. Weak deck armor in these things. And the destroyer is trying long-range torpedo runs again against the carrier, against a actually maneuvering, navigating carrier. So yeah, that's not going to work. How many torps is he going to take? Okay, you had a chance, right? You had your chance, but he's dodged all of them. But now I'm in 4 kilometer range, and at 4 kilometer, this is where the Lyon actually starts really shining, because she does have a frightful damage output if she can get all the things on target. And at 4 kilometers, even these guns can't miss everything. So let's delete the Graf Zeppelin, and there she goes. Nice. And like I said, at these ranges, the guns actually work pretty well. Okay, we're down to 3 ships each, despite our best efforts here, but we're still holding 2 of the capture circles. Okay, Brooklyn. I've got a destroyer with me and the carrier, so Brooklyn is the biggest danger to the destroyer, so let's shoot at the Brooklyn first, even though the Colorado is on low health. But again, and I said, oh, there's another Colorado. He seems to be dead, so the carrier can take that out. Nice. That was a lucky hit. And it looks like the carrier takes out the Colorado. Is he? Yeah, this should be dead. Okay. So, carrier takes out Colorado. Brooklyn is shooting at me, which is ideal, which means he's not shooting at the destroyer. He's gonna run into all those torps. Anyway, I'm gonna get a couple of shots off. Oh, the Mayhem is on extremely low health. And, oh, that was a good salvo again against the Brooklyn. Sometimes RNGsus says yes. RNGsus giveth and RNGsus taketh away. Okay, Colorado next. Again, you can brawl in every ship. In the Lyon, you usually can brawl once, but even a Colorado at this range, I can brawl. Okay, he's healing, so I can't probably kill him with my secondaries, but I can heal up a little bit. But yeah, now the extremely poor armor and extremely low health of the Lyon is going to cause me trouble, because while I can kill the Colorado shoots back at me, and that hurt. Okay, which leaves the Brooklyn, and my damage con is just on cooldown. So unless I'm getting a couple lucky hits, but even if I die, I think we have this in the bag. I mean, there's nothing I can do. So 5 kilometer Brooklyn, can I delete this one as well? Can I get my 3rd kill? Shots out, and the Brooklyn sets me on fire, and of course I can't delete the Brooklyn because we kind of turned around. But the Brooklyn gets taken out by Saipan, so that was a bull run, if ever I played one. Like I said, this is one in 30 games or so that you get this kind of thing. But when she works, and you get to play to her strength, and you get to maneuver, and you get to pop up in places, you can do 100,000 damage in this thing. And you can score 6 citadels. But trust me, after that, you're going to get another 19 or 29 games where you're doing like 30, 35,000 points of damage and no citadels and no kills. So, is this a good ship? Not really. Like I said, most of the time she's pretty garbage, but just every now and then she just works. And these are the moments when you're thinking like, yeah, French battleships, they're fast and they can pop up in unexpected places. So why not? Anyway, that's it from me today. Thanks, everybody. We will be looking at the higher tier ones in my press account reasonably soon, because you probably don't want to wait until I'm at tier 10 in the French battleships, because I don't like them that much so far. So it's going to be a bit of a grind still. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.